We live in a world that moves at a pace the human nervous system was never designed to handle. Our lives are full, overflowing with digital inputs and infinite choices, and a pace that leaves almost no room for breath. And yet, beneath all the scrolls and the screens, there's a quiet hunger in most of us, a longing for space, a longing for slowness, a longing for a life that feels sacred again. Slowness doesn't mean doing less. It means being more present with what you choose. And in an era where tech wants all of our time, the act of choosing consciously and deliberately might be the most revolutionary choice that we have left. More than 20 years ago, my wife and I made a quiet choice that became foundational to our life. We walked away from television. It's not because we hated it, and it's not because we were morally opposed to it, but it's because we realized something simple and unsettling. Television wasn't just entertainment. It was shaping our attention, it was shaping our energy, and it shaped our daily rhythm. And we didn't want that, so we turned it off permanently. And the world didn't end. Instead, space opened up, and without endless channels and without background noise, without the constant drip of someone else's stories, we felt our own life again. Now, in our home now, we use the television only as a screen for the occasional movie. We don't have any subscriptions. We don't have any shows that we watch. It's actually kind of a running joke at dinner parties and stuff because sometimes we just don't even know what's on the streaming services. And we don't have an algorithm recommending what we should feel or watch next. And this isn't a rule, it's a lifestyle that we chose. And it's a slow tech lifestyle. And it's given us something far more valuable than entertainment. It's given us time. Real time for thinking, for creating, for living, for presence, for being present with our kids, and for the authentic human moments that technology often replaces. That choice was the first glimpse of something we didn't have a language for back then, but it's something that we understand now, and that's called a sacred life. Slow tech isn't about rejecting technology. It's about redesigning your relationship with it. It's digital minimalism with a soul. It's conscious tech consumption. It's using technology without letting it use you. And slow tech asks really three questions. First, does this expand my life? Second, does this drain me or does it nourish me? And then third, do I choose this or did it choose me? When your relationship with tech becomes intentional, your relationship with time transforms. You reclaim mental clarity and you reclaim emotional clarity. You reclaim attention, arguably the most powerful currency in your life right now. And this is the essence of a sacred life. Not more striving, but more choosing. So let's strip this down to biology. The human nervous system evolved in environments designed by slowness, with cycles and natural rhythms. Sunrise, hunting, gathering, fire, cooking, rest, night, a regulated cycle, something predictable, coherent. Now compare that to your average digital day. Constantly receiving alerts, dopamine spikes everywhere, cognitive switching at every hour and every second, randomized rewards, infinite scroll, blue light stimulation, fragmented attention, and zero rhythm. Your body was built for coherence, but your digital life is a chaos machine. So here's what deep neuroscience shows. First, cognitive switching depletes glucose. Every time you switch apps or tasks, your brain burns a measurable amount of metabolic fuel. If you do this hundreds of times a day, you end up cognitively exhausted long before your actual tasks are done. Second, we find that dopamine loops hijack your motivation. Social media and streaming are designed for anticipation loops, not satisfaction. Your brain becomes wired for novelty and not depth. And then third, sensory overload activates chronic stress. So too much input activates the amygdala. You become hypervigilant without knowing why. Fourth, blue light shifts your circadian rhythm. Your sleep cycle weakens and your hormones dysregulate, and you wake up foggy and forgetful. Fifth, long-term overstimulation weakens prefrontal function. Focus, decision-making, emotional regulation, they all get compromised by too much tech input. This is not a psychological weakness. It's a mismatch between ancient biology and modern design. The solution is not more discipline, it's better rhythm. It's conscious, sacred pacing. It's slow tech. A sacred life isn't necessarily religious, it's intentional. It's a living in a way that honors your humanity, your sensory system, your emotional world, your creativity, your relationships. A sacred life is spacious. It has room for breath, room for quiet, room for presence, room for actual human experiences that aren't mediated through a screen. Slow tech is the doorway to that life. When you remove the noise, you rediscover the signal, your intuition, your desires, your values, and your truth. Slowness reveals meaning, and meaning reveals direction. Direction reveals purpose. And this is why slow tech isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. Imagine for a second a week where your evenings aren't filled with binge watching, where your mornings aren't defined by phone scrolling, and where your weekends aren't swallowed by algorithmic entertainment. Instead, you take a walk and actually notice the world. You cook and pay attention to flavor. You talk with someone without the distracted microglance at your phone. You read slowly. You breathe deeply. You rest without guilt. Simple things, human things, the things our bodies recognize as real life. Slow tech reawakens the sacred living that modern speed has pushed aside. Here are 3 minimalist practices that instantly open space that you could do right now. The first is the 20% rule. Reduce your digital inputs by 20%. Not 50%, not 80%, but just 20%. Your brain is going to feel the shift immediately. Your nervous system will decompress, and your clarity will improve. And you're going to see your creativity begin to rise. Next, try the single screen principle. 1 screen at a time, always. No laptops with phones, no TV while scrolling, no split attention. Deep science shows that this reduces cognitive load by up to 40%. And 3, try the sacred morning. Try no screens for the first 30 minutes of the day. This restores prefrontal function. It stabilizes cortisol. It gives your nervous system a calm baseline to start with. And you start from a center instead of chaos. Inside the impossible prompt, slow tech becomes a living principle, not a goal. The system analyzes the way that you talk about time, attention, focus, and overwhelm. It reflects your digital habits back to you, patterns you don't even realize that you've adopted, and then it guides you through micro shifts that create macro clarity. More presence, more spaciousness, more rhythm, more intentionality, more real life. It's not anti-tech, it's pro-human. The point of view of slow tech is not to escape the digital world, but to teach your biology and your soul how to navigate it consciously. This is the essence of sacred living. You stop reacting to your devices and you start choosing your life. Relief comes when you realize the overwhelm wasn't your fault. Hope comes when you start to feel how quickly spaciousness returns. Motivation comes when you glimpse how sacred and beautiful life becomes when tech is no longer running every moment of it. Slow tech doesn't take life away, it actually gives it back. And once you taste that feeling, that breath, that presence, that clarity, you won't want to go back. If you've been listening here and something inside you is longing for space and for breath and for quiet, for a slower, more sacred rhythm, then this is your invitation. This is your signal right now. Request your private invitation to the impossible prompt, because the world will always ask you to move faster, to do more, to consume endlessly. But your soul and your body, your nervous system is asking for something different. A life that feels real, a life with room in it, a life with meaning, and a life that is, in every sense, impossibly human.